I am. I love how I say that every time differently. And it really, the way I say it indicates how I feel. Sometimes I'm very full sounding, sometimes I'm thin. I'm not sure how that sounds, but it is different. Yesterday seemed very theatrical. Sometimes it's very doubtful. Today it's raining, so it's changed the whole morning. The morning is, and not all mornings, but a lot of mornings, as many as I can handle. The morning is planned for a walk that I really have become attached to it because of so many reasons, but mostly because I finish my workout with the walk. I sing to the butterflies and the snails and the lizards and the birds, the trees. And I love singing to the animals. So it's raining, and I couldn't do my walkabout. That caused me to make some choices that were unusual. And making unusual choices always leads to new understandings about things. Instead of doing a walkabout, I did one of my solo violin pieces in the bathroom. And if I can get over the bathroom, the notion of bathroom, the notion of a place to clean and poop, and there's a certain pedestrian nature to bathrooms. It is not considered a concert hall. If I can get over that, it has a really lovely resonance. A resonance that's a little different from a concert hall, a little compressed for me. It causes me to hold back a bit. And holding back is not that I don't express myself fully, it's that I don't expand my lungs in a way that throws my voice out of my body in a concussive way. It is that way that has caused the neighbors or the neighbor, I don't believe there are neighbors involved in this, I think it's she created these other neighbors to support her complaint. It is her complaint that has caused me a little bit of consternation. So when it's raining, I have to bring myself back from the jungle, from the hills, from the headstone, from all the hellos that people send to me, all the waves, the smiles. I can call it love. And then I can say, but of course, what is love? Because that is love. The way people respond to me and the way they are receiving me, it's beautiful. So in a sense, it feels disappointing that I can't do my walkabout when it rains. And I don't hold it against the rain. The rain is beautiful, and the rain here is beautiful in a way that I've never experienced rain before. I think it's the warmth of it. Because when I was in New York and it rained, it was like freezing and frigid, and oh, get me out of this. I need to get out of this. Oh, I'm frozen, or I need to get out of it. Whereas here, it's almost like I want to be walking around in it, but I can't walk around in it with my violin. My violin doesn't find it helpful. It just causes it to get soggy. The bow gets soggy, the violin gets soggy. I can walk around without the violin, and I was considering that. But there is a carefulness to me with the rain. The walks, paths, stairs are very unpredictable. The stairs around the corner from our house have a little bit of mold around them, and so they can be like ice. The path, one of my favorite paths, it can get extremely muddy and slippery, but just muddy and muddy. But the sound of it, musical. The warmth of it, embracing. I can easily say I love it. One of the things it does, however, is it causes me to change my process, and changing my process requires intransigency as well as flexibility, and to have them both at the same time is the realm of a Twoman being. A Twoman being is capable of having both, and is not only intransigent or only flexible, but is intransigent when it's necessary and flexible when it is necessary. So the flexibility is that I love burning incense when I'm in this talk. For me, this is a prayformance talking. I burn a candle. I burn incense. I will shortly do a dance. It's sheltered, but the camera itself will be in the rain, possibly. We'll see. Also, because of the way things happened, it required a patience in me to wait for the time that it was right for me to do this. The sweetie came back from her walk, and I was just ready to play, and then she wanted to play, and she wanted to take a shower, and so it caused a lineup. And patience in regards to all things is also one of those things that is really important. I don't know if I boast when I say I am a patient person, or if I say the truth and I say I am a patient person. It's one of the qualities that I am most adept at? Am I boasting? Am I speaking honorably and truthfully about it? I feel that I'm more patient now than I was when I was younger, but I believe that my patience arose from the way the world treated me. The intolerance it showed towards me, the hatred it showed towards me, the oppression it showed towards me, the disrespect it showed towards me. These things caused me to be more patient. They were unpleasant to experience, but I was and I am able to turn them into patience. Some might say that one should go out and grab things as they come immediately. Just grab it because there it is. And what is patience in the midst when there is something that needs to be done immediately? And that is true. But there is a time for grabbing something, and there is a time for being patient and waiting till it arrives. And to know the difference, to feel the difference, is a feeling, emotional state. For a being who is unemotional, who is, and I'll take it as a very cliche way, the masculine, to take the bull by the horns, to go out and get it. Patience in men is very difficult for them. They tend to be anxious. They tend to feel that they need to do it now. Whereas I would say that the feminine is more patient. The ability for the mother to wait for the child to behave there and to do what is necessary. To have both, however, to have them balanced and fully operable is, to me, the optimal way of living life. There are times when one's life depends on doing the thing immediately. And there are times that one's life depends on waiting till the right moment. And as I said, it requires a deeply emotional person, a person who is capable of feeling deeply, because the difference is based in the realm of feeling. Those people who do not have emotions, or who bury them, or who hide them because they think they are weak in showing them, those people who feel that if they cry in front of somebody that they're being weak, this is not my behavior. I am all over the place crying right at the moment. I let it go. I say, I'm crying. Here I go. I'm a very emotional being, and I can shut it down. A Twoman being is patient and very active. So this morning has been about patience, has been about waiting, has been about when the time is right, it will be happening. And just at the moment when I was about to start, our host came by to handle a difficulty we were having with the internet here. I'm glad that I didn't start, but I had that feeling like I need to start now. I need to talk. I need to start talking. It's getting late, and it is late now. It's later than usual. Does that make it worse? Does that make it better? It makes it different. And to be open to that difference, to allow for that difference, to embrace that difference allows for a more beautiful way than to be frustrated by the way things are. I would say, being a Twoman being, that has been one of the things that I've been learning the most. And thus, being an immensely patient being. I do believe that patience and death are very, very good together, as well as taking that moment when it comes. Because as I said, dying well is a moment. It is a moment that is extremely feeling. It is a moment that is right. That, for me, is dying well. To die at the moment when it is right to die. That sounds funny. I know it sounds funny to people. People are, well, it happens when it's supposed to happen. And that is true. It happens when it is supposed to happen, but there is a thing in the Western world. It is also in the Eastern world where death is a bad thing. Therefore, you must avoid it at all costs. I don't agree with that. I believe that when death is right and the time is right, then that is a moment to die, and it is a perfect moment to die well, because that is what is offered. It is the fear of death. It is the moving away. It is the doing all sorts of strange operations with I don't want to call them doctors, because a doctor is an artist. Technician, a body technician, who will offer all these very strange procedures for the body that will, in a sense, increase one's lifespan, avoid death. I will not take those choices. There are possibly some operations and surgeries that will decrease pain, let us say. A broken limb is an example. But there are some things that are not helpful. They are meant, and their whole purpose is to make money for the body technician and to decrease the fear of what continuing along that path means. A problematic body situation. I can go into that in detail, but I'm going to turn away from that and continue on where I was going. So, as it's raining, I can't burn the incense out in the Ganesha. I have to do and change and amend and be flexible to do things in a more or less wet way. because the rain is going to get it wet. But I'm not stopping what I now call my prayformance, my talk, my playing. I do them and I amend them in a way to allow myself to do the same thing on a day like this. And it feels good. It feels good to be flexible and to have said, yes, I will do it this new way. It is different from what I am doing, but it allows me to express, because all of this is expression. Every single thing I'm doing is expression. My whole life is about expression. As a Twoman being, expression is the body, is the being duty. How that is expressed is one's own talent, but to express, to have that moment to be, and to do the duty of expressing the deepest feelings one has, this is being duty. And this, to me, is one of the most important things to do. It is something that I support all those around me. It is also something that when somebody or people around me are trying to undermine, causes me to move away from them. Because I don't have time to be dissuaded from my expressiveness. I don't have time to be drinking booze in a bar when I could be writing, when I could be doing a drawing or a picture or writing music. I don't have time to go get drunk. I don't have time also to use devices, and I call them power tools, as an entertainment. Power tools are what I say they are. They are power tools. They are meant for digging in, and they are meant for work. Working deeply into the unconscious, deeply into the heart, deeply into the feelings. To do so, or to try to draw me into doing it because it's entertainment, because let's get entertained, let's get high and be entertained by it. That doesn't work for me, so I move away. I find that just doing my walkabouts make me high, and they're very pristine nature. They're very deeply honest nature. Their openness to the world around me and all of the animal life and all of the plant life causes me to be as high as any power tool. And thus, I don't use power tools anymore. I feel that I have grown past them. Mushrooms do what they do. They offer information. All of the power tools do. And when used correctly, they can offer a being much growth. But they need to be intended for that. And that's the rub. In modern society, many people use power tools with an intent that is nebulous. And that is not a good way to use power tools. I touched down on something I had mentioned in the last talk, and I will not stop talking about it, though I'm being brief at first, and once I get going, I will get going. I will tell you what I intuit Yeshua's life to be, and I will also tell you what I intuit has been kept hidden from everybody in order to do what has been done. Yeshua knew that a word like Jesus would come into existence and mentioned it. And that, I believe, is the beast. His sensitivity, his intelligence, his mixed raceness, all contributed to his ability to recognize that human beings almost invariably take a new thing, a unique thing, I could even say a beautiful thing, and turn it into a commodity to use and to manipulate humanity left and right. Yeshua knew that his ideas were unique and beautiful. And he knew that people had a tendency towards greed. He showed it. He kicked over tables. He told people, you're being greedy and stupid. I don't believe in your doing this. So the word Jesus that came about because the Romans wanted to take advantage of his teaching and turn it into a commodity that could enslave people's faith. That is what happened. They used it to turn people into fearful beings, fearful of death, which is one of those things too, in order to control faith. And I don't know anything more powerful than people's faith. If you can manipulate somebody and control their faith, as so-called gurus do, and shamans and all those self-proclaimed spiritual teachers, if you can take somebody's faith and manipulate them by their faith, then they will do anything you want. And now you have control. And now you can make money off them. You can charge them $1,000 an hour to come and sit with you. I am free. I am free. I am free in that sense that I am free because I can do anything and express anything I want. But I am free because anybody can come up to me and receive from me. I do not charge you. I stopped doing that. I stopped doing that actually a long time ago. It's the sweetie had a lot of trouble with how much I didn't. And I did tell the story of my first walkabout, how people would come up to me and try to teach me or try to encourage me to get money from people. Hold out a cup to somebody, and that was not at all within my thought. My thought was, I want to give my heart to people. This is what I wanted to do, and I was not thinking about money. Also, to control somebody's faith is to enslave them. My ancestors and my ancestors, let's say, those people who came out of the West Indies from my island, those people who are related from the continent Africa, who were enslaved in the South. Look at their faith. Their faith was controlled by slaveholders. Their faith was controlled by the preachers. Their faith was controlled by all the people who enslaved them. And one of the things that happened then was they just started to pray to this Jesus. And now it's so part of the dialogue of these ancestors and these relations that it's almost as if that is where they emanate from, and they do not emanate from there. They became enslaved because of that. And the Romans enslaved the Aramaic peoples through that. They took the original and unique ideas and spiritual deepness of Yeshua, and they turned it into this word, which is Latin. This is a Latin word. It's not Aramaic. It was Latin because to sell these ideas to the Roman people, it had to be a Latin word, because Roman people would not listen to an Aramaic slave person. Why would they have ideas that are brilliant and wonderful? Why would a slave in the South have beautiful ideas? No, they are to be disrespected. I'm going to beat you with a stick. That's what the white person in the South did. You don't have intelligence. So, as you see, it's a very deep subject for me, and it's all connected. Nothing is not connected. That is one of Carl Gustav Jung's beautiful ideas, the notion of everything being connected, and that is a beautiful idea. It is also connected in all of the attempts of people to control each other. Again, I am free. I give freely because I try not to control anybody. I also can recognize that somebody can try to take my free offerings and try to sell it as a commodity, try to use it to control others. I know that people can do that. I know that just as Yeshua knew that. And I know that just like any person who is sensitive and aware about life and human beings know. They know that this is what people do. And I say to you, I believe in freedom.